Hello viewers, SuperGT here, welcome back to another iRacing video. So the previous one we were doing the Mazda MX-5s, the entry level series if you like, in iRacing. But now we're going to move into something a little bit quicker, the Ferrari Fixed series. And at this point I've become fixed onto that wall, so that's not a good sign of things to come. But why did I choose this series? Okay, so fixed, meaning that the setup is fixed, you can't change it. And that makes my life a lot easier. And I don't have to worry about the setup at all. So we're going to be talking alongside Jeff here.
Clear. Push, push, push. Limiter's still on. Disengage it. Okay, Steve, we've got 2 laps to get the job done, mate.
Who is the pit engineer that I have installed. So this is the qualifying then. 2 laps, as it was the same in the MX-5 series. Road Atlanta, Ferrari Fixed, everyone's in the same car, everyone's in the same setup. Let's go for 2 laps of qualifying. Let's see what we can do then around the Road Atlanta circuit. As we come up the crest through turn 2 and 3, really trying to spot the turning in points, which is actually really difficult because Road Atlanta on Forza Motorsport, you're playing in chase cam, you can see everything a lot easier. But it's one of the really hard things about iRacing when you first come onto it from playing other games, or going onto this sim from playing other games, is just the point of view, the angle that you're looking at from, because it's really difficult to see things, basically. Really difficult to spot exactly where you're meant to turn in, so you have to create references for yourself. At this point here, coming back onto the back straight, down towards the final chicane. Look for that 100 board on the right hand side. There it is. On the brakes we are. Clipping that first apex. Nice bit of patience, and then on the throttle on the way out, using the full track width. Could have maybe used a bit more of the curb. Down the crest on the other side, through the final corner, which is flat out, and across the line to do a 119.4.
That lap time was 119.41.
As confirmed by Mr. Jeff there. We're going to go again. You have 2 laps, so we can try and beat our time. Going through here, nicely done so far. A little bit up, as you can see, with the delta just below the mirror. So about 1/10 of a second up on our previous best, but a big moment through the S's. It just shows you one tiny moment like that, and it can completely ruin your lap.
That's the end of the session. You're on pole. Well done.
But I'm on pole position. The big boy has turned up. The real big boy is on iRacing now. And his name is SuperGT, apparently. So, away we go from pole position.
Follow the safety car in the left lane.
So Jeff's telling me to follow in the left lane, but I'm actually meant to follow in the right lane. So he's definitely getting sacked in the morning. And I'm going to get, hopefully, Lewis Hamilton's race engineer, as he can say, "Get in there, Lewis," even though my name isn't Lewis, but you can say that anyway. Okay then, I'm going to control the pace. I'm on pole position. The pace car is going to pull into the right hand side. There he goes, into the pit lane. So it's up to me to control the pace up to the line. The lights go green and we are away. This is a really nice build up process to the beginning of a race here. As we go away from pole position, obviously the best position to be in at the front. I'm on the inside and we easily slot in to first place through the first corner. Now we've settled into single file. It's really just about just not getting too many mistakes made, as it's very easy to do on this. You really do have to concentrate a lot. I find that compared to Gran Turismo, the level of concentration required here is a lot higher, in the sense that you can really easily lose control of the car, as I kind of demonstrated in the first seconds of the video. Now, something that a lot of people said in the first video I did at the MX-5 one a week ago, or a week or so ago,
just ignore it, it'll go away,
was the graphics. So a lot of people commenting and saying the graphics aren't good, so why would you play it? Well, you play it because the racing is very good. iRacing, it's not called iGraphics, it's not to do with the graphics. You play the racing because the racing is good. And having said that, actually when you play it on high settings, not watching it on a YouTube video, but actually playing it for yourself with high settings, it's actually not too bad, especially with good frame rate.
The gap behind is now 0.9.
So we've got Jeff still updating us on the situation up behind, and that there shows just how difficult it is through that first corner. I was really struggling. The main thing I was really struggling with, and there are a couple of corners like it around here, is braking whilst turning. You have to try to minimise that as much as possible, but it's actually quite difficult through turn 1. There is a big temptation to brake whilst turning in, and it really easily unsettles the car. So you do have to watch out for that. There are a couple of corners where you can do it, maybe gain a bit of time if you can control the car, but you do risk sliding out. So you might be asking or wondering, how the hell did I get pole position when I've only really just come back? Well, obviously the seasoned veterans of iRacing will know, it's quite clear that you'll have an iRating, you have a rating of how good you are or how good you're supposed to be, and then you get matched up with people who are very similar to that rating. So at this point I would say I'm quite a low rating, so I'm perhaps racing against very low rated players, which explains why I was quite easily on pole position. Although I must say that going second is not giving me such an easy time, still just hovering around about a second behind, so you can just see him in the mirror just about. We're going to skip ahead a couple of laps.
Fastest lap for Garcia, 119.77.
So we're lapping in the very low 119, high 119. So I make a big mistake there. Go a little bit wide through turn 3, and just glancing in the mirror with another mistake there, turning a little bit too early. Just a quick glance in the mirror. You see the Ferrari behind is lurking ever closer. 0.5 seconds behind at this point, with third place 1.1 behind, just looking at the relative screen, bottom right hand of the video. Lots of people asking about this during the Spa 24 hours. So the left hand column shows your position, then the next one shows your car number, and then your name, and then the relative gap between myself and that car. So 1 second by this point here, coming up to a back marker who's highlighted in blue on that relative screen, coming down the hill through the final corner flat out quite easily and across the line to end lap number 6 onto 7. It's a 15-minute race, so it's quite a short sprint. And coming through turn 1, we just lose control, and pretty much at this point here I knew that I had massively messed up as we go into the wall, kind of foreshadowed by the very beginning of the video where I span out in practice, and perhaps by a couple of laps earlier in this race where I almost did the same thing. So down into 4th, I lost 3 positions, quite big gaps even though it's only about 6 laps into the race. Some rather big gaps were developing, so I only lost 3 positions, thankfully, not too many. If that was a much higher split, I would have gone down, if I was in first, I would have gone down to about 15th probably by lap 7. So settling into 4th position, obviously not ideal, silly mistake there, and it perhaps shows my inexperience on iRacing, but that is something you should always learn from. I was looking comfortable, to be fair. I perhaps could have soaked up a little bit more pressure without sending myself into the wall. So we're going to settle into 4th, in behind Antonio in 3rd place there in the slipstream. So again, lots of questions.
Okay, Steve, you're in this guy in. The gap's now 0.6.
A lot of questions during the iRacing 24-hour of Spa, which I thank everyone for tuning in for, which was a really good experience for me. My first proper GT car race at all. So I really haven't got much experience in GT cars, but the Spa 24 hour kind of chucked me in at the deep end and I learnt a lot from it. A lot of questions regarding the similarity to Gran Turismo. I would say that the slipstream is strong on this game, not as strong as it is on Gran Turismo, but it does have more of an effect when you're behind another car like I am right now. It does make it more difficult to drive the car. You do lose some grip, you lose some aerodynamics as you follow the car in front.
5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. We're looking alright here. Keep your concentration nice and smooth.
So it does change the way the car handles, and it isn't so strong on Gran Turismo. You do gain a lot more, I'd say, on Gran Turismo, but that isn't to say that the suck forces are weak on iRacing. They are most certainly not. And when you get kind of this close, I'm about half a second behind, you might be able to get enough slipstream. On this occasion I gained about 2/10 on the straight. It wasn't enough. Getting a little bit closer through the chicane. I was always quite strong through that chicane compared to the other drivers, but I was
okay, Steve, stay close, wait for him to make a mistake.
But I was slower in other places. So Jeff telling us there to just wait behind, be patient, wait for the guy ahead to make a mistake, perhaps like I did earlier on. with the guy behind me putting pressure on me. I'm just trying to keep as close as I can, get a 1x there. Already up to 7 incident points for this race, maximum of 17 allowed before you get booted out for being a dirty noob. So still chasing down this guy in third place. First and second are a long way ahead, not much chance of catching them. It's going to be all or nothing to get this podium position. Lap 11 now, so given that it is a 15-minute race with 1 minute 20 lap times, we're looking at 12 or 13 laps, so we are very near to the end of the race now, and I'm very near to this guy's rear wing. As you can see, I'm almost underneath it as we come through the left hand onto the back straight, and these next 2 corners could be crucial as they lead into the chicane, the best overtaking opportunity on the lap, the longest straight into the biggest braking zone. So coming through this corner here, crucial that I get this one right, and I wasn't getting it right. That was probably my weakest corner out of the whole circuit, other than turn 1 maybe. So now fully in that slipstream, 0.3 seconds behind. Can we get enough of a draft and enough of a slingshot to fire past in the braking zone, coming down the hill over the crest? I'm going to move to the left hand side, and on the brakes nice and late. I'm going to get the position, hit the apex, and move up into third place. He didn't resist at all.
Steve, good stuff. Keep it coming.
And we move quite easily up into third place. It should be first, really. I qualified on pole. I sat in the lead for 6 laps before binning it.
Last lap, bring it on home. P3. Your lap time was at 1:20.19.
Before binning it through turn 1 here. But I just have to bring it home now, as reminded again by Mr. Jeffy there. So less than a lap to go. Just bring it home. There's not much chance of catching second, although he has actually dropped off at the end of this race. He's only 1.8 seconds ahead now. You can see him not directly in front. Here's the back marker right in front of me now, and I flash my lights at him at this point, and he actually moves across to let me go through quite nicely. Thank you very much. So you don't lose any time behind him. You can see second place is actually right in front of us now. At one point it was about 7 seconds ahead. Now, only 1 second over the line we go to finish in third place.
Well done, Steve. Great drive. That's a podium.
So disappointing, really, because I could have won it. Without that mistake. But still, to come back to third, otherwise a decent race, apart from that silly mistake, of course. We're going to go again. We're going to see if I can actually try to win and not bottle it.
It's clear. Don't cross the white line. We've got 2 laps to get the job done.
Being an absolute bottle job is something I do not want to carry over into iRacing, of course. So coming through here, I was like quite a long way up on a good lap, and I made a big mistake. So I had to bail out of that lap. Well, we go again in our next qualifying session of the next race. Let's see if we can go again for a pole position. So last time out, did a 1:19.4, which was a fairly good lap for me, I think. We actually had some of the really high ranking guys in one of my practice sessions. One of the guys actually won the top split of iRacing Spa 24 with Max Verstappen. I think it's Max Venig, if that's how you say his name. He was actually one of my sessions, he was doing mid 118s. So to be within a second of someone like that, I think is not too bad. But obviously it just showed that there's room for improvement. And at this point here, this lap is actually fairly nailed on at this point. 8 tenths up. Optimum saying is 1:19.5, top left of the screen. Just a couple of corners left to go. Down into the chicane for the last time of the qualifying session. We go up to nearly a second up. We actually lose a bit of momentum through the final exit. Over the crest and down the hill. Through the final corner, 8 tenths up. And we cross the line to do a 19.4.
Pole position.
And that happens to be pole position once again, in some weird way, but it is. So good job from Super GT. Get in there, Lewis. P1 Sebastian. So job done. Pole position again for the second time, hoping this time to convert it. The Porsche safety car goes in, and for some reason, this guy is just neglecting
15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
Neglecting all of the rules. And presumably getting a slowdown penalty there as he slowed right down to let me go back.
Left side.
So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the pole sitter, aka me, is meant to control the pace, so he kind of jumped the gun there a little bit. unless I was meant to go fast. I don't know. I don't think so. I was just trying to get a nice slow bunch start to try to create carnage in the pack. Sometimes maybe a faster start can help. I don't know. I've not played iRacing enough to really know. But maybe doing a fast start can spread out the pack so that people have less incidents. But then maybe
Good start, mate. Nice one.
then maybe packing them up into a slower bunch start could actually create more carnage. Who knows? It's unclear really, but I suppose I'll find it out eventually. So down towards the chicane for the first time. David behind, 0.2 seconds behind in the mirror. Definitely see him, but I'm not going to go defensive as he wasn't quite close enough. Well, he might have gone for the lunge, you never know. But he didn't on this occasion. Now looking behind, I didn't realise it at the time, but looking at the replay here of the race, you can see that he goes into the pit lane, so presumably he got a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. So absolute bad man there, breaking all of the rules and tearing up the rule book. He doesn't give a damn. So go over that. I don't give a damn now. Getting my first off-track penalty there, or warning, should you say? So I do want to thank again the F4H guys who've really been looking after me, especially during the 24 hours of Spa. They had to put up with me bottling it every 2 minutes, but we came through for a good result. 24th in split 2, so we're quite highly ranked up in the races. We're in a good race, and we actually managed to bring it home to the end and finish in the top half of our race. So pleased with that, pleased with the team. They've really helped me a lot. And eventually, in this race,
just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. Perfect drive, absolutely flawless.
we win the race. We have won an iRacing race, which is our first GT race. So I'll be looking to do more of this series. I actually really enjoyed the Ferrari Fixed. Just the fact that you don't have to bother with setups is very appealing to me. And I hope you enjoyed the video as well. Our iRacing goes up to 1776, so it's climbing ever more. Going to try to get it over 2000 within the coming days to find a more suitable level. But that does bring a close to this video. I do hope you enjoyed it as always. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know any other series you think I should try or make videos for, and I shall see you next time. Thank you so much for watching as always, everyone. Have a nice day. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.